Alright, we're back for part 2 of the January greenhouse update. If you missed part 1, make sure you check that out. We're picking up exactly where we left off, and we're back onto the cool side of the greenhouse again, just on one of my hanging walls here. Not a lot is happening on this wall. I'm getting some good growth. My Restripia here is growing like crazy. All these light leaves are nice new growth. If you look up quite high, we have a lot of Hoyas on this side. So that's at the 7-foot mark up there that those plants are hanging. And they're slowly growing still, even though it's wintertime. They're sort of vining and twisting in between stuff. So that is kind of nice. Down here we have got my Path Insigne. First time it's bloomed for me in the years and years I've had it. So I'm really happy about that. I just did a video on this guy, so depending on what order you watch my videos in, you're going to have a full video on this weekend. But we have got 3 buds on this one, and I have a couple more buds on a couple more plants down below. One of my hyacinths here. I love hyacinths in the springtime. They're so amazing. One stalk is gone, but the other stalk is still doing well. They smell so amazing, and they make the greenhouse smell so amazing that it's amazing. My Ultra Highland chamber here is actually down for repairs. The freezer has crapped out on me, and I have got a replacement freezer, but I'm in no real hurry because this time of year, well, it's not summer and it's not that warm in here, so these guys are all okay. They just don't have quite the same nighttime lows as they're used to, but that has all my cold growing Nepenthes in there, Telepogon orchids, other cold growing Masdevallias and Lepanthes and stuff like that. They're all doing well. I took off the lid. I'm removing the dome and gonna have just a flat surface on there. It'll still be the same lid, but no dome that it had. It'll make it so much easier to light when I don't have to worry about the light sliding off the dome. So we'll raise you back up a little bit here. You're on a pole, so I'm gonna put you kind of above my head and give you a bit of a look way up there at, these are the Hoyas. So this is the majority of the Hoyas up there. They're all doing fairly well. Again, considering it is January and light is not at a premium right now, you can see new growth on stuff like right here and right here. So doing quite well up there. Down here I have a sink full of hot water right now. It is currently full of hot water, and it is actually warming the greenhouse for the day. This is my hot water heat sink. That's a sink. So a heat sink is with water in, is something that you have warm water in, or it heats up during the day and then releases heat at night. Well, I have the luxury, I can just put straight hot water in my sink, and this takes hours and hours to cool down, and the whole time it just radiates heat out. So it's a really easy way to heat the greenhouse, especially on a day like today where it's currently 12 degrees outside Celsius, and inside the greenhouse we're at 76 or 24.6 Celsius, depending on what scale you're used to. So yeah, it's working good. It keeps all the electronics off for a while. The electronics, the heats and stuff, you know what I mean. A little Masdevallia is down here. This guy doesn't normally live here, but I just brought him out for show. That is Masdevallia Snowbird. We have some more spikes right here on my Ontoglossidium pucellum. Buried in here is the Zygopetalum. This is just one of my back bulb divisions that's blooming now. So I love Zygopetalums. The smell is amazing on these guys, and they sort of bloom throughout the year for me, so that's nice. Another Masdevallia Snowbird. I repotted this guy earlier this year, and of course when you repot a Masdevallia you end up with more than one. Masdevallia Angel Heart is looking quite nice there as well. Tip you back up. I did a video last month just of this corner of the greenhouse. The yellow Cymbidium was in bloom at that point, but it's fading really quickly. What else do we have here? There is a Hoya and part of my Nepenthes Miranda. It's kind of gone crazy. I'm going to have to cut that back this year. Here is a Laelia. This is the smaller one of the two. Again, if you remember that last video, there was 2 in bloom. Well, the one with the bigger blooms is done, but I have this guy left here. Some Maxillarias way up high, not in bloom, that I got from Equigenera. And let's just kind of move in a little bit closer here. And we'll go down low for a minute. So down low is Masdevallias. Here is another spike coming up on a Zygopetalum right there. So that's nice. Another Cymbidium is out. I like this one. It's brown with some red in the lip, but quite nice. Behind that is a great big picture on a Sibuensis. I just can't quite make the shot there. And then we get into a few carnivorous plants. So we'll pull you back up a little bit. And there's a lot of seedlings there. My Nigeras are doing awesome. I love those ones. The ant plants are at the back here behind it. They're hanging up there, so when the light's on, all the ant plants kind of get blasted with some light, and they're doing good with that. There is a nice Diania picture down there. Another smaller Diania back there. This is Leonardoi. It's got some good pictures on it. They're not huge, but still good. There's my Lamii. Slowly growing, slowly getting leaf jumps, so that's nice. There's a big ant plant right behind that. You can see the spiky bulb, whatever they call that. Another Masdevallia out right here as well beside it. Actually, another Masdevallia out beside that one as well. This is definitely the season for Masdevallias. Let's go up a little bit higher if we can. See if I can rest this maybe on my foot. It'll get you a little bit higher. So there's some seedling cephalotus germinating, a few big pots of typicals, and an array of different ones that I've grown from seed myself. Red Form, Northcliffe, Two People's Bay, Coal Mine Beach. I'm sure there's some others in there as well. Doing quite well. They're just under modest lights because, again, the natural light in here is quite bright. We're looking at natural light right now, and it's not dull in here by any means, even though it's a cloudy day in the middle of January. So these lights just, they give a bit of supplemental lighting in the evenings and the mornings to compensate for the short days. But they're still picturing away. This one here has just got a big flush of pictures on it. They're kind of spilling over now. That's why they're not quite as red as, say, this one that hasn't had as many pictures lately. I see some winter leaves coming out there. If we look up, we have my staghorn fern sitting right there. That is where the air conditioner normally is, but it's made its home there for the winter time. Spectabilis uppers and Sibuensis upper is nice in there, kind of behind the bamboo. You can see the big, it's quite light cream color. Bunch of Ventricosa pictures. And I'll take you off my foot and move you over a little bit more. My Nepenthes Bongso is looking awesome, biggest picture yet. So really nice there. Really happy with that. There's lots of Nepenthes above our head, but I'm not going to get there yet. Hopefully I can remember. My Pinguiculas, they never really totally go dormant for me, but they do get a few non-sticky leaves. Some of them go more dormant than others, but they always have flowers. There we go. My Disa orchids are under that light. No flowers on them. Jamban is looking really good. Some record-sized pictures on my Jamban. Biggest for me. So they're quite nice. And again, it's great that this is just, it's winter, so I'm happy with that. Villardii is not doing anything. Tamiis, I grew them from seed. They're coming along nicely. I replotted a couple of those. And before we get too far, we'll take you down here. There's another Riger begonia. They just give a nice splash of color, especially for just a few dollars for the plant. My Heliamphoras are down here. I just repotted a few recently. That's why you'll see some snow white perlite on them. Made a couple divisions. There's a few new spikes coming up. I noticed this spike's been coming up for a while. That is my Heterodoxa cross Ionazii, I think it is. There is a spike on my Heterodoxa. Here's a seed pod on my Minor. So I've got a few seed pods around. I just sowed some seeds as well. And yeah, so they've done really good over the winter. I give them modest light as well. I could up the light and, I could make them totally red and that, but I like them to have that sort of nice greeny with red hues to them. When they all look kind of like burnt like this one, I mean, that's an old picture, don't get me wrong, but when they all look like that, I just don't like it as much. So I try to get them enough light so they have some color, but not tons. Not tons of light. So now I don't know which shelf to take you on. The top, the middle, or the bottom. Let's go up to the top. I'll sit you on a stool. That'll work good. My Sophronides coccinea. There is this guy here. I love that one. What was that guy again? I think I'm going to make a video on him. Just a little video. He's such a delicate little species. He's from the freezer, but since he was out in bloom, there you are. Fernandez. Yeah, I'll say EI. But anyways, he is a little tiny cool grower that grows up at like 3,300 meters. And I'm just lucky he's alive at all. So I'm going to do a video on him because he might not be here forever. Rajas right here. Nigra. Phalanx. What is that guy? Ramispina. Edwardsiana's getting a nice new picture on it right there. Another Edwardsiana. Pitapangei's got a picture. This guy, he stopped picturing for me for the wintertime. It seems like the tendrils need to touch something, and I hung him up for the wintertime, and all the tendrils just sort of hung off the pot and didn't do anything. So the one tendril I put in the media pictured. So I've now got him back from hanging, and any of these tendrils are just going to follow it onto the other pots. And we'll worry about that when we worry about that. Here is another first-time bloomer for me. He's just actually starting to open today. So we're kind of getting a look at him. Same family as Kingianum. He was a little gift. He was in rough shape. I burned him a couple times, and he had a whole bunch of bacterial spots. The spots you see now are just actually burns, but I had to work out through those. That is a Dendrobium Fulcrostrome. So anyways, he went out with the Paph insigne, and he kind of froze during this winter, or during this fall, out in the temperate greenhouse where there was no heat. Well, we're up this high. I'm going to just tilt you up to the roof and give you sort of a look. Lots of Nepenthes up here. It's quite bright, so I get lots of backlighting. And that silhouette there is a Rob Cantley. My Mira, my Hamada ventricosa. But they're all sort of up there enjoying the light. And if you look really far over there, there's a few Draculas up there that are in bloom. So they're looking nice. This one has many, many blooms out. And then there's another one hanging just a little bit lower. That's Dracula Bella. First bloom of the season, so that's nice. And now let's go down one more shelf. Back down to beside the Helizaire. So we have a few more Nepenthe seedlings. All my Hamadas sort of live here. If you notice, they live off to the side of the lights. They don't really appreciate the bright light that we'll say the ones above do, like the Raja and the Edwardsiana. Hamadas can deal without the light pretty easily. There's another Begonia. Just adds that splash of color. What else do we have? Another Masdevallia. Like that purple guy. The King Sundews are right there. So is Oncidium. This guy's actually not an Oncidium. He is Odontocidium Saint Anthony of Egypt. Sorry it didn't focus there for you, but that's what he is. Down on the very bottom, there is another strip light down there, and that is where my Masdevallias and Paphs and stuff like that are living. You'll see a few other Paph insigne spikes, like right here and right there. So that's kind of nice. Sensitive plants down there. My mushroom colonies down there. So far hasn't done anything. I think I'm going to have to reverse it to the other side. And yeah, that is a long-winded greenhouse tour for January. And if you look at this, we're right back to where we started now. So anyways, guys, that's it for January. The good news is another 2-3 weeks and we'll have 10 hours of light again. Things are really going to start picking up in here. Lots of spikes are going to start to form. Really excited to get out of wintertime and back into spring. The bubble wrap will start coming down over the next few weeks as well. And yeah, we'll start getting back into spring and summer mode. There's always something to do in the greenhouse. Whatever season it is, you're always preparing for the next season. So now it's time to start preparing for spring, bringing down the bubble wrap. And yeah, by March, we're going to need the air conditioner back in here again. So anyways, I hope you liked this video. And if you want to see more updates like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.